The agency I've selected is the Topeka Board of Education. I won't be reading the entire PowerPoints because they're too lengthy. I'll just be touching on the major points. The purpose of the agency. I'll start with its mission. Topeka Board of Education's mission is to develop and graduate lifelong learners who possess the skills and knowledge to be responsible contributing members of society. Strengthened by diversity, Topeka Public Schools are to enhance educational opportunities for all students. Powers and responsibilities. The board is responsible for the general operation, management, and control of the school system. The board governs the district and acts in a policy-making capacity in accordance with the law. The board exercises executive, legislative, and judicial authority to promote the best interests of the district. Superintendent. The board delegates administrative authority to the superintendent, who shall establish educational policies. Dr. Julie Ford became the first female superintendent of Topeka Public Schools in 2011. She was currently with the Kansas State Board of Education prior. The board is composed of 7 members elected to 4-year terms. The board is committed to providing a productive learning and working environment free from discrimination and harassment on any protected ground. Topeka Board of Education prior to 1954, by statute, permitted but did not require cities of more than 15,000 in population to maintain separate school facilities for Negro and white students. School systems in many southern states require that Negroes, referring to African Americans, and whites be educated separately, made legal by the Plessy v. Ferguson case of 1896, which held that segregated public facilities were constitutional so long as the black and white facilities were equal to each other. Topeka Board of Education elected to establish segregated elementary schools. What is the activity? This is a court case between Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka. Oliver Brown, a parent of one of the children denied access to Topeka's white schools, claimed that Topeka's racial segregation violated the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause, citing the city's black and white schools were not equal to each other and never could be. NAACP lawyers brought class action lawsuits in Kansas, South Carolina, Virginia, and Delaware, seeking court orders to compel school students to let black students attend white public schools. The federal district court dismissed the claim. Brown appealed to the Supreme Court. Where and when did the activity take place? In the Kansas case, Brown v. Board of Education, the plaintiff brought this action into the United States District Court for the District of Kansas in 1951. The case was decided on May 17, 1954. The case was one of 4 class action suits filed. The political interests involved in the regulation include the Topeka Board of Education, who had, by state constitutional references, had availed themselves the privilege of furnishing separate but equal facilities, only to find the equality, in fact, of these facilities subject to determination by the federal courts. The affected parties are the African American children being discriminated upon by the public school systems on the basis of race. The court concluded that separating children on the basis of race creates dangerous inferior complexes that adversely affects their ability to learn, it lowers their self-esteem, and breeds fear, resentment, and anger. The U.S. Supreme Court decision, in a unanimous decision written by Chief Justice Earl Warren himself, he held that racial segregation of children in public schools violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which states that no state shall make or enforce any law which shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. The amendment did not prohibit integration, but today it guarantees equal education. Public education in the 20th century, said the court, had become an essential component of a citizen's public life, forming the basis of democratic citizenship, normal socialization, and professional training. Any child denied a good education would be unlikely to succeed in life. A state, therefore, must provide universal education equally to both blacks and whites. What was the board's action or inaction? The Board of Education of Topeka and all other public school boards and departments across the United States would have to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling. State constitutions and statute references that had made segregation in public schools legal would have to be rewritten, amended, or changed completely by public agents to stay in compliance with the law of the land. Justice had been served, yet the struggle continues.